Good afternoon, Knights. Today we're previewing the Arcadia University men's volleyball team's 2025 season. Our guest today is head coach Adam Hammond. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Adam. Appreciate it.
We love having you on here, Coach. Now, you're heading into your third season, and we've seen playoff level play from the team in your first 2 years. What are your expectations now as you've had a team that's kind of gotten that experience but looking to take the next step?
I think we're hitting our stride right now. We have a lot of older guys that are coming back that have been there before. So, our preseason ranking, we were fifth, which was kind of where we finished last year, but we ended up winning the play-in game. So I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. We do have a lot of young talent. So I think we're only getting better at this point. So I think we're really, I think we're going to surprise a lot of people for sure.
Now, you talked about having some of those older players. What can you tell us about the players that have gained that year plus of experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a pretty strong junior class that have seen a good amount of court time, that have really kind of came into their own last year. Some even seeing the court a little bit as a freshman. So, we got a good, strong core, with Riley at setting, Josh is opposite. Mike Carr is a senior coming back from an injury. So he's had some experience earlier on. So we're just trying to see, how they can develop and, continue to push the program forward, along with Cam, who ended up being honorable mention as a libero last year, who, in my opinion, is probably one of the best liberos in the conference. And I'd even throw him up there with some of the best in the country. So I think they're really going to, elevate our program to that next level.
Now, let's talk about the newcomers. You talked about how we have kind of a young team this year. What can you tell us about those players that'll be looking to make an impact in their first year?
Yeah, so we brought in a pretty big class. We're still, putting the pieces together, right? We haven't had our first match, but, from our fall play date up till now, as we're getting ready for the season to unfold, we're going to see some guys that are going to see some decent court time. Reese Dodd being one of them, big 6'8" middle from Delaware, so a pretty local guy. He'll probably make a pretty big impact right away. He's pretty big, pretty physical. He's still figuring out the game, but he's doing a pretty good job. And then Tucker Alicio, guy from Arizona, big outside, pretty good passer. He's been doing a lot of things for us in the practice gym, doing pretty well. And then the rest of our freshman class are, not far behind. I think they're really starting to contribute a lot in practice, but also might be those guys that are going to fill in a lot of different positions, whether it's going to be, serving sub, blocking sub, defensive specialist. Even, we have a transfer who's a libero who's been doing some DS stuff for us a little bit this year, John Valencia. So we're seeing a lot of guys that are kind of coming in the fold and being impactful right away, which is pretty great for this incoming class.
Now let's transition. Let's talk about the strength of the MAC, arguably one of, if not the strongest men's volleyball conference in the country. Mm-hmm. What are you looking at in the conference? What can you tell us about it?
It's going to be strong as always, right? I mean, that's the one thing, honestly, that's why I wanted to come here, is I wanted to be in the MAC. It's such a great conference for men's volleyball at the D3 level. We're seeing, the national rankings just came out. Stevens, in a couple different polls, is top 5, top 3. Misericordia cracked the top 15. And then, we've always going to have that, that strong competition base with, not just the 1 and 2, but all the way top to bottom. I think we've seen good growth from kind of the guys who are like ourselves, have been coming in that 4 and 5 spot, that have been able to notch out either nationally ranked wins in the past years or getting in that top 30 conversation, top 20 conversation. And now the bottom has really, the bottom kind of rankings of our conference are also leveling up. Talking to some of the other coaches in the conference, just seeing what the recruiting classes are going to look like, it's only going to look better. And coaches in our conference tend to work really well together. So it's been really great for us to kind of like talk about, hey, how can we strengthen our schedule while making our conference look good? Because there's a whole new, ranking system with how we're going to potentially get into the tournament this year. And, one of the big conversations we also had in our conference meeting was, our goal should really be pushing to get as many at-larges as possible, get as many, teams in the rankings as possible. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of that.
Now let's talk about the schedule. What are some games that you've got marked off and are looking forward to this year?
Obviously, with the way that we've always scheduled pretty tough teams. Like I said, the rankings just came out, so we're ballparking like our average. Usually we round up 7, 8 teams that are usually in the top 10, top 15 every year, and we've got those teams. Juniata is always a good team that we love to play every year. We play them twice this year. We also will play Vassar, who was national runner-up this past season. We also got invited to a tournament at Springfield, which we might play them depending how we play through. And then NYU is also a really tough match. And then obviously, most important is our opening match, right? So for us, we don't want to look too far ahead of ourselves. Match 1 is going to be the big one for us. So I think that's really going to set kind of the tempo for the year. And if we come out strong and we get a good win, we're just going to take the momentum and push us forward.
Arcadia University men's volleyball kicks off the 2025 season this Tuesday when they host Kane University, 7 p.m. first touch inside Alumni Gymnasium. Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck this year.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it.